That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
You know, I mean, she used to be on Deal or No
infiltrated? And now,
Deal.
you
Yeah,
can't.
look, she was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the briefcase.
She didn't like being objectified on Deal. And did you think it was an executive position, ma'am?
Meghan Markle's latest emotional breakdown didn't just raise eyebrows. It was completely dismantled by none other than Joe Rogan, and he didn't hold back. With receipts, sarcasm, and his signature brutal honesty, Rogan revealed the shocking truth behind Meghan's vulnerable persona. But here's the bombshell. Could it be that everything we've seen from Meghan is nothing more than an act? Stick around, because what's coming next will change the way you see her forever. Joe Rogan didn't hold back for a second. He came for Meghan Markle's latest emotional breakdown with laser-focused precision. Meghan, during a recent podcast appearance, dabbed her eyes, her voice trembling as she talked about the overwhelming pressures of life. But Rogan wasn't buying it for a second. He called it exactly what it was: Hollywood training. He even dug up the clip where Meghan herself casually boasted about crying on command.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick.
Now make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
Left eye, 3 seconds, she said with a smirk, as if it was just another trick up her sleeve. But when the moment came for her breakdown, there wasn't a tear in sight. Not one. The dramatic voice, the shaky breath, the hand to the face. It all seemed like an acting performance designed for maximum sympathy. Rogan even took a shot at the classic act by playing the clip of Meghan's confession about her tear technique, contrasting it with her on-air performance. The message was clear. This wasn't a real breakdown. This was an audition for the role of a lifetime. Meghan Markle, the Princess of Pain, was performing, just as she always does. But the question now is, who's still buying into it? Joe Rogan didn't just poke holes in Meghan's emotional performance. He took aim at the bigger picture, her entire brand. Meghan's carefully cultivated image as the oppressed Duchess, who's now a fierce feminist icon, was always a part of a bigger plan. But according to Rogan, it's less about authenticity and more about the branding game. Meghan has turned her struggles into a multi-million-dollar empire, carefully designed to appeal to a world obsessed with celebrity drama. Rogan
knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
even joked that she might be the CEO of suffering, a title she's clearly embraced. From the Netflix specials to the podcast interviews, everything about Meghan's life post-royalty has been centered around struggle. Whether it's the pressure of royal life, mental health battles, or accusations of racism. But Rogan made an interesting point. What if all of it is just an extension of her business strategy? In fact, her personal brand thrives on the drama, the victimhood, and the constant media spotlight. The truth is, her royal background gives her the perfect platform to sell an image of righteousness and suffering, but the cracks are starting to show. Rogan's biting sarcasm and unfiltered commentary expose the reality. Meghan isn't just speaking her truth. She's selling a narrative, one tear-filled breakdown at a time. And as more people start to see through the act, the question remains, how much longer can she keep it up before her brand unravels completely? What happened next was nothing short of a cultural shift. Meghan's emotional breakdown, which was supposed to capture hearts and paint her as the victim of royal life, became the very moment that Joe Rogan's brutally honest commentary went viral. Rogan didn't scream, he didn't attack, he simply pointed out the obvious. And when he did, millions of people who had been silently questioning Meghan's authenticity finally felt like someone had said aloud what they were all thinking. His signature sarcasm cut deep when he called out the absurdity of Meghan's suffering, labeling her the CEO of suffering, with a mock tone that left his audience in stitches. It wasn't just the joke, it was the truth bomb that accompanied it. Rogan wasn't just mocking her performance, he was calling attention to the larger issue. Meghan's entire persona was starting to feel like a staged performance, one she could turn on and off whenever it suited her brand. This moment marked a turning point. No longer could Meghan's emotional outbursts be viewed as genuine. They were dissected and questioned like every other PR move she'd made in the past. Rogan's words created a ripple effect that spread across social media platforms, with clips of his takedown going viral within hours. People were finally seeing through the carefully curated tears, and what they saw wasn't vulnerability. It was the calculated moves of someone who had perfected the art of playing the victim for profit. And as Rogan pointed out, once the illusion is broken, there's no going back. As Joe Rogan's takedown of Meghan Markle went viral, something became crystal clear. The public was no longer buying into the carefully constructed narrative she'd been selling. Meghan's image as a self-proclaimed champion of the oppressed, living in a multi-million-dollar mansion surrounded by staff and a never-ending media circus, suddenly felt absurd. Rogan called out the glaring hypocrisy of a woman who claims she wants privacy, yet can't stay out of the spotlight. From her emotional podcast moments to her Netflix specials, every move she makes is carefully orchestrated to maintain this image of royalty-infused struggle. But the public, including Rogan's audience, began to see through it. It wasn't just the royal life that Meghan wanted to leave behind. It was the hard work and responsibility that came with it. Meghan wasn't interested in the service and sacrifice that the title Duchess once represented. She wanted the perks without the duty. But what's truly fascinating is that even as Meghan claimed to leave the royal family behind, she couldn't give up the royal branding. Her legal title may have been stripped, but she still clings to the Duchess label in private, using it in emails, cards, and even branding efforts like her new wellness empire. Rogan's sharp commentary on this, especially regarding her use of Her Royal Highness after stepping down from royal duties, struck a chord. It wasn't just a lapse in judgment, as Meghan's defenders tried to frame it. It was a deliberate attempt to keep the royal mystique alive for commercial gain. The public wasn't buying it. The cracks in Meghan's royal act were too glaring to ignore. People began to question not just the authenticity of her personal brand, but her motivations as well. If she truly wanted privacy and a break from the royal family, why was she still so desperate to be seen as royalty? Rogan's remarks had done more than just expose a fabricated performance. They had shattered the illusion of Meghan Markle as the relatable victim. And in its place, people began to see her as a master manipulator of image, carefully crafting a narrative that served her needs, not anyone else's. Just when Meghan thought the spotlight might shift away from her, the past came rushing back, and it wasn't pretty. Old rumors about Meghan's possible involvement with Jeffrey Epstein's notorious yacht resurfaced, reigniting the flames of speculation about her connections to some of the most scandalous figures in recent history. This time, it wasn't just whispers in tabloids, it was tied directly to Joe Rogan's podcast, and the internet went wild. Meghan had already tried to distance herself from her pre-royalty days, but the more she tried to erase her past, the more people dug. The connection to Epstein's yacht was no longer a vague rumor. It was a theory being investigated thanks to some disturbing evidence and timing that just couldn't be ignored. There were reports of Meghan being spotted with Prince Andrew years ago, long before she became the Duchess of Sussex, and these new rumors claimed she could have spent time on Epstein's yacht during the same period. While there's no concrete proof, the resurfacing of these accusations couldn't have come at a worse time for Meghan. Rogan's take on this was sharp and unforgiving. He pointed out how the speculation was fueled by the very same media training and crafted persona that Meghan had spent years building. The public couldn't help but connect the dots. Here's a woman who was once rubbing shoulders with the richest and most controversial figures in the world, and now she was portraying herself as a crusader for the common people. It felt like too much of a stretch, and people started to wonder how much of her current persona was just a cover-up for her past. What made the situation even worse was how the rumors went viral, with people on Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter digging up photos and linking her to the very same circles she's now publicly denouncing. Whether these allegations hold water or not, the optics were damaging enough to her reputation. The public's perception of Meghan was no longer just about the royals or her latest public tearful outburst. It was now tangled with questions about who she really was before she met Prince Harry and what part of her history she was desperately trying to bury. The more Meghan denied her past, the more people dug, and every new piece of information felt like another nail in the coffin of her carefully crafted brand. Whether or not these yacht allegations are true, they've become another layer of doubt surrounding her authenticity, making it even harder for the public to buy into her royal-turned-feminist activist narrative. As the speculation about Meghan Markle's past continued to grow, her carefully curated image began to unravel in real time. Rogan wasn't the only one calling out her contradictions. As Meghan's brand evolved from a Hollywood actress to the Duchess of Sussex, and now to a self-proclaimed feminist and wellness guru, more and more people began to question the authenticity of her transformation. Every move she made seemed calculated, like a performance rather than genuine change. Take, for example, her infamous use of the title, Her Royal Highness. Even after stepping down from her royal duties, Meghan still clung to the royal branding in private, using it on personal cards and in private settings. When Rogan pointed out this glaring contradiction, it resonated with millions of people who had already begun to see the cracks in her royal image. How could Meghan, who claims to be so over the royal family, still use the very title she had been stripped of? It wasn't just an innocent mistake, it was an intentional move to keep that royal mystique alive for her personal gain. This wasn't just about the title, it was the broader picture of her persona. Meghan's authenticity began to feel like a performance, one that she could turn on and off whenever it suited her. She wasn't just selling vulnerability, she was selling a carefully orchestrated version of herself that fit whatever narrative was trending. Whether it was crying on command, playing the victim of royal life, or presenting herself as a wellness expert, it all seemed too perfect, too scripted. The public's growing skepticism wasn't just based on one slip-up or one misstep. It was a series of inconsistencies, a long history of trying to manage her image rather than live it authentically. As Rogan's commentary spread, people began to see Meghan not as the compassionate, enlightened figure she portrayed, but as a woman whose every move was calculated for maximum impact, and the more her image cracked, the harder it became to maintain the illusion. With every scandal, every leak, and every contradiction, Meghan's brand became more fragile. What was once viewed as the heartbreaking story of a woman breaking free from royal constraints now looked like a well-crafted narrative designed for profit, but the truth couldn't be ignored any longer. The mask was slipping, and it wasn't just the media calling it out. It was the audience who were finally starting to see Meghan Markle for what she really was, a brand. Just when Meghan thought she could move on from the controversies surrounding her royal exit, her latest venture, her wellness brand, brought a whole new level of scrutiny. Meghan had positioned herself as the next great wellness guru, offering advice on self-care, mental health, and even sharing her own rituals with the world. But things took a serious turn when a legal claim was filed against her, one that involved a bath salt recipe she promoted in a Netflix series titled Home Rituals. The woman filing the lawsuit, Robin Patrick, claimed that the bath salts Meghan featured in the episode caused her severe second-degree burns and diabetic ulcers. It didn't take long for medical professionals to back up the allegations, with experts pointing out how certain ingredients in the bath soak, like arnica and Himalayan salt, could react negatively with people who have underlying skin conditions. For someone with diabetes, as Patrick reportedly had, this was not just an unfortunate incident. It was a dangerous one that should have come with clear warnings. But what made this situation even more embarrassing for Meghan was how the incident was handled. While the legal team scrambled to contain the fallout, the damage to Meghan's wellness empire was already done. Rogan, always quick with a zinger, mocked the situation on his podcast, highlighting the absurdity of a former royal trying to pass herself off as a wellness expert. "This is what happens when influencers think they're chemists," he said, flipping through screenshots of the recipe. The tone was biting, but it perfectly captured the feeling many viewers had. Meghan wasn't just misstepping in the wellness world, she was exposing the shallow nature of her latest brand. In an era where influencers are held accountable for the products they promote, Meghan's carefully crafted image as a spiritual guide was starting to feel more like a PR stunt than a genuine desire to help others. The controversy only fueled the idea that she was trying to sell a lifestyle, but without the expertise to back it up. As more people began to see her actions as irresponsible, the trust in her new brand continued to fade. And to make matters worse, the whole situation revealed the cracks in her carefully curated persona. Was she really just trying to help people, or was this another move to capitalize on her fame, one that was starting to backfire spectacularly? Rogan's commentary made it clear. Meghan's wellness brand wasn't just a product, it was another piece of the puzzle that exposed how much of her life was designed to be marketed, not lived. If Meghan Markle thought her wellness brand scandal would blow over, she was wrong. Just as the lawsuit over the bath salts was gaining traction, another disaster was unfolding with the launch of her new brand, As Ever. This brand was meant to be her big reinvention, a high-end lifestyle label focused on wellness and self-care. But what started as a promising new venture quickly became another PR disaster.